Hi, this is Pete Peterson with Stealth Health. Today I'm going to talk to you about exercise and diabetes prevention. Not only is exercise good for diabetes prevention, but it's also good for blood pressure, for mood, for cholesterol, for lowering the risk of heart disease and all kinds of other diseases and disorders. The goal of the diabetes prevention program is 150 minutes a week of activity. However, most people can do better than that and really should do more than that. But we need to increase incrementally. You don't want to overdo it all at once. You want to build slowly. About 2 weeks ago, we're actually getting ready to sell our house and getting some things taken care of in the house, and I needed to do some repairs on the roof. And a couple of weeks ago, I decided that I would pretend like I was a young person and a roofer. And I'm still paying for that just a little bit, but it's passing. When I lost the weight after being morbidly obese for over 30 years and obese for most of my life, I really had to build into it slowly. A lot of the exercises that I did, I had to just really slowly start building up and working on them and just doing a few at a time. I was doing push-ups, and I actually started at 1 push-up a day. And then after a week, doubled it to 2, and then after another week, added another 2, and then just kept on incrementally adding just 2 more. And it was the same thing for a lot of the other exercises that I did. I had to build really, really slowly, and I had to ice myself after exercising. It took quite a while to get up to where I wanted to be. I'm not doing push-ups right now. I have a different regimen of exercise. I walk a lot, I hike a lot, and there's other exercises that I do every day in my office when I'm there. But everybody needs to just really build up slowly. And this is one of my favorite exercise partners, Belle. And when you're doing exercises, Lee. You want to think about 2 basic different kinds of exercises. One is strength training and the other is resistance. And you're better off if you can include both of those in your activities. You don't have to do both every day. You can do some one day, you can do strength one day, you can do aerobic other days, or you can do aerobic every day and just strength some of the time. You can mix it up, and usually it's a good idea to also mix up the kinds of exercises, whether they be aerobic or strength. And I will mention, and I'll talk about this a little bit more later as well, but one of the very best aerobic exercises that you can possibly do, and it's sometimes referred to as a superfood of exercise, is simply walking. If you have any health issues, concerns, consult with your physician and talk to your physician about what you need to do and the kinds of precautions that you need to make. And also you need to be aware of the risks for heart attack. And remember, heart attacks are not just something that men have to be concerned with, but women also have to be concerned with heart attacks. It can be a significant risk for women, so make sure that you know the risks of heart attack and know the signs of a heart attack. Another thing about exercise is that you want to make sure that you wear really comfortable clothing. You want to wear shoes with good support so that you're not hurting your feet and legs, and so that you're comfortable as you're exercising, so that your body can breathe. The rules of thumb of either walking or jogging is to be able to carry on a conversation. If you're not able to carry on a conversation while you're walking or jogging, then you're probably overdoing it, and you need to slow down and you need to rest a little bit. Which brings me to something else that I'll talk about more, and that is to do them with a friend. As I mentioned, exercise is very good for reducing stress, and aerobic exercise is one of the best ways of doing that. And when you do it with somebody else, it's also a really good relationship builder. Walk with your kids, walk with your spouse, with your girlfriend, your boyfriend. Walk with your neighbor, with your brother, your sister, with your parent, with anybody that you have a relationship with that you can. Walk with them, and while you're doing, have a conversation. And maybe if you're not walking as fast as you want, that's okay, because you're really doing two things at once. You're building a relationship, you're bonding with that person, good exercise, and you're helping that other person get some good exercise at the same time. You want to make sure that you warm up and cool down both before and after you exercise. And this includes stretching. Stretching is really important. And perhaps when I was up on the roof, had I stretched, I wouldn't have hurt myself as much as I did. Actually, the first hour that I was up on the roof, I was having a lot of fun, and I thought, I'm going to be retiring in just 2 or 3 years, and it wouldn't be so bad to do this a little bit part-time, because I was having a great time. But after about an hour, I wasn't having quite as much fun. And then for the next 2 weeks, I was having a whole lot less fun. Sometimes when we exercise, we might pull a muscle, we might get a cramp or something like that. Some of the things that are really, really helpful for that are potassium, turmeric, and mustard. In one of the classes, one of the diabetes prevention classes that I have taught, we were talking about exercise and cramping, and a couple of people threw out some ideas that they thought helped quite a bit. One of them was mustard, and I looked it up. I did some research, and there's actually some fairly good research connecting mustard and relieving cramps. So that's a good positive. Another idea was suggested, which I looked up and couldn't find near as much good research on. But that's okay. That person thought that it helped, and if she felt that it helped, then that's great. Other things that really help people increase sustainability when exercising are to set realistic goals, not to try to do too much too quickly. When I first started losing the weight, and as I lost the weight, I lost about 115 pounds. Actually, I lost a little bit more than 115 pounds. I was walking, doing things, and I had set a goal to be able to walk or hike 10 miles with my dog Belle. And it wasn't something I could do immediately. It would have killed me. Maybe not literally, but I would have hurt myself, sort of like when I was on the roof the other day. But I built up to it, and I got to the point where I could do that, and still can do that. I can go hiking long distances with Belle, and last winter we did some snowshoeing together. I was in the snowshoes, and she was just running and jumping in the snow and having a good time. She's a long-haired white German Shepherd, and she loves the snow. Something else that's really helpful in increasing sustainability for exercise is to use cues and reminders. Some of the things that some people have done are putting their exercise shoes in the chair where they watch TV, or putting their exercise clothes right on a chair as they get out of bed. That reminds them that they're going to get dressed and they're going to go running or do something else. Some people have suggested putting their dog's leash on the doorknob so that they're reminded that they need to take the dog for a walk. I don't need any of those things, because as soon as I get close to Belle, within a block literally, as I'm walking home, I walk to and from work, and as I'm walking home, Belle starts to whine and tells me that it's time to take her for a walk. So she's a very natural cue for me. Another thing that is really important and really helpful in sustaining exercise is to do it in your natural environment and as a part of your natural routine. This means that, for example, in my office, I set cues. I have some exercise tubes that I use, and I move them from from my credenza, and I put them on my desk, and that reminds me that I've got to do certain exercises in the morning, and then when I get them done, I put those back. And then in the afternoon when I get in, I put them back on my desk. That reminds me I've got to do squats, I do a plank, and I do some exercises with those tubes. And that's something that I do twice, pretty much every day, at least every day that I'm at work. Other things that you can do is to park a little bit further away from the store, or park further away from where you work and walk. Take your bike to work. Instead of sending an email or making a phone call at work, if it's somebody that's just down the hall, walk down the hall and talk to them. Take the stairs instead of the elevator. Just little things can make a huge difference for you in just getting more active, and just having the mindset that I'm going to do things and be more active, that's a goal, and that's important because you really care about yourself and you want to be healthy. The other thing that's really important for sustaining exercise is social support. Doing it with a friend and having somebody else that you're accountable to. That perhaps every day you have somebody in your neighborhood that you meet and you go for a walk with that person. Or even if you go to the gym, you're more likely to sustain at the gym if you have a friend or somebody else that you go with, or somebody that you meet there who will call you and remind you if you're not there and tell you to get back and start coming again. My biggest social support for exercise is, again, Belle, because she reminds me all the time. Another thing I just want to mention is that if you get hurt, I mentioned mustard. Something else that can be really wonderful is ice, and packing yourself and putting ice on something. That is something that I did as I was starting to exercise again. I would do push-ups and I would use ice. Today I do both ice and also a little bit of heat alternatively, and it helps a lot. I want to mention also two lovely young ladies that I know by the name of Nicole and Dara. They have an exercise, weight, and wellness channel, and I will provide a link to their channel on YouTube just below. Please subscribe to this channel and share it, and also please subscribe to theirs, and thank you very much for watching.